Okay, welcome back. This is video 7 of week number 2. We're going to take a look at search strategies using the databases for academic articles. You may want to increase your screen to full size so that you can see exactly what I'm doing on the screen here. Right where we left off, I'm at the search screen to be able to access the articles through the databases. And I'm just going to start really basically. I'm going to type in the search term cancer into the search field, and I'm going to run a search. It's going to take a few seconds as it pulls all of the available articles that match cancer. And if you take a look, you'll see that I've ended up with over 3 million hits for articles that somehow match on cancer. That really is astounding. It's almost too much information to be able to process. So we're going to look at some ways to narrow searching so that you can make it far easier on yourself. There's obviously no way that you're going to get through 3 million articles as you're preparing, a research paper or a presentation or whatever it is that you're working on. So we need to think about ways to search smarter. And I oftentimes talk about this, like the same kind of process that you go through if you ever do thrift store shopping. So if you ever go to Value Village or the Salvation Army or anything, you know that in that store, there are a couple of items that are marked like $1 or $2 that are worth a lot more money. But in order to get those great items that are there, you have to wade through an awful lot of junk, right? So you have to really look and kind of scour. And you have to actually enjoy that process, right? So it's almost like a treasure hunt. Same thing when you're doing the databases, okay? So think of it that way. Don't get frustrated when you see 3 million hits. Know that what you need to do is think about clever ways to limit your searching so that you end up closer, okay, to that particular treasure, that article that's going to be perfect for your research essay or perfect for whatever assignment that you're working on. And the first thing I'm going to do to limit my results is I'm going to go over here on the side and I'm going to click off full text. That's going to tell the databases that I only want to access those articles that I can get in HTML or PDF right away, okay? Because it indexes all sorts of articles, even ones that aren't available right away. So I've limited it to full text, and now I've ended up reducing the number of hits that I get. Now I'm just over 700,000. Still too many, okay, but at least I'm getting a little bit closer. The other thing I can do over here on the side with limiting is limit my results to scholarly or peer-reviewed journals. So if you think back to last week when we were talking about articles, we said that peer review is one of those important processes that articles go through. I can limit that way. Now my search is down to over 600,000 articles. Okay, so I'm going in the right direction. I still have way too many. Another thing I can do is I can limit by publication date. So I know it's small to see here, but you can see I'm getting results from 1898 through to 2020. I really probably don't want to read about what people were writing about cancer in 1898. So I'm going to use this slider here, and I'm going to tell the computer that I only want to see articles from a specific range. So maybe I want a 20-year range. So from the year 2000 to 2020, I adjust my slider, and I tell the computer that what I'm looking for are only those articles that are in that particular age or particular date range, okay? And it didn't do much in terms of reducing. I'm going to just go over and do the slider again. So we said the year 2000, whoops, and it'll update for me here. Okay, I eliminated about 60,000 or 55,000 articles. Again, still in the right ballpark. We're going down. What I really probably want to do, though, is think about ways that I can limit my search terms. So the more search terms you put in, the more precise your results will be. So maybe I don't want to just look up cancer. Maybe I want to look up oral cancer. So I'll put in the word oral and click search. And now I'm down to 32,000 articles. Okay. Still pretty good, right? In terms of the amount of results that I'm getting, but far too much information for me to be able to access. So I need to think of some additional search terms that I can put in here to really help focus my search into a kind of laser-like precision. So maybe I'm interested in things that have come out of Canada. I'll put in the search term Canada. Now I'm down to 831. Okay, so getting better. And I can add as many different search terms as I want to. So I can keep going. And what I want to do is I want to end up with a kind of manageable number of results. So whatever your topic is, brainstorm ways to narrow your topic so that you're not ending up with an overwhelming number of hits coming back. If I decide that I want to take a look at the article, all I need to do is click on PDF full text, give the computer a second, and it's going to pull up the article right in PDF format. And I can read it on screen if I want to. I can also print it if I'm connected to a printer, or I can download it and save. So up here at the top, there's two little icons, a printer icon, okay, and a download icon. If I click on the detailed record, it's going to give me information about the article. This is information I'm going to ask you for when you're doing your assignment that's coming up. So I can see the author's names, the source, which is the name of the journal that something comes from. I can see all sorts of stuff, the page range. It starts on page 1802 and ends on page 1808. It was published in October of 2018. These two numbers here that I'm seeing, these are what they call the volume and the issue of the particular article. So the volume appears first. It's the number that's not in parentheses. And then the issue number, 10, is the article that, the number that appears in parentheses. So this is going to be all useful information that you're going to need eventually when we start working through that famous APA format that we're doing. If I want to get out of the record, I can go back. I'm just using my back button here, and I can access any of the articles that I want to that are coming up here. Right? So again, if I want to get into the article, I'm just going to click on PDF full text. I get the article coming up. I go to detailed record to get the information that I'm going to need about the particular article. So I want to look for authors' names, the source, the date of publication, the volume, the issue, the page range, okay, of the particular article. And again, remember that when you're in the article itself, you have a couple of choices about what to do with it. You can print it out if you like working with a hard copy, or you can download it and save it to your own computer or to a stick so that you have the article available. An important thing to remember is when you're looking at the different results that you get when you're doing some searches, that not all of these articles are going to be understandable or accessible to you right away. Okay, so I want you to cut yourself some slack. Remember that you're just beginning your studies and you're still developing your terminology in the area of medicine or dentistry. Take a look at result number 7. Okay, I can tell just from reading the title that I would have difficulty reading and understanding this particular article. So maybe this is one that I'm not going to take a look at right away. Or if I decide I'm going to take a look at it, I'm going to know that it's definitely going to be a challenge. And then I'm going to need to look up words and need to really work through the article slowly to be able to understand what's going on. This next one, number 8, is maybe a better example. If I take a look at that and I simply take a look at the title, not too bad, right? I can actually read and understand the title of that article. The chances are better if I were to actually go into the full article itself that I would be able to read and understand it. Once I've selected an article simply by the title, before I actually commit to reading the whole article, what I probably want to do is I want to go into that detailed record for the article, and I want to look for this thing here called the abstract. The abstract is a short little paragraph that summarizes the content of the full article. So I want to read through this little summary quickly to make sure, first of all, that the article is indeed about what I'm hoping it'll be about, but also, again, to put it through a second comprehension test. If I can read the summary and understand it, again, the chances are better, okay, when I actually pull the whole article, that I'm going to be able to read and understand the full article. This is, again, where it's sort of like thrift store shopping. So I have to remember that sometimes I'm going to pull articles and I'm going to start reading them and realize that I'm in over my head. That's okay, right? Remember that you can always go back and search again. And remember, too, when you're looking at your results list, that this doesn't really work like Google, right? So the first 3 results, let me just go back to the results list, are not necessarily the best results for you to take a look at. So really browse through all of them. Give yourself enough time when you're doing research to take a look at a variety of different things so that if you end up finding results that don't work for you, you have time to go back and look at some stuff that really will work for you. I'm going to be asking you to use the databases in our assignment that's coming up. But right now, take a couple of minutes and just play around with it. Throw in some search terms, see what you find. Remember, again, to play with limiting your results so that you end up with more manageable results. Our next video, I'm going to go over the assignment requirements that's going to be asking you to use all of the things that we've looked at so far.